Good day everyone. Welcome back to the Azure Data Factory Series. In this video, we are taking a deep dive into how to invoke an ADF pipeline from Azure App Services using an user-assigned managed identity, a highly secure approach, same as the system-assigned managed identity, which I covered in my previous videos. If you haven't watched those, I have included the links in the description below. Make sure to check them out for a complete understanding of both approaches. This will be a step-by-step guide. So by the end of this video, you will have a fully working setup to securely trigger ADF pipeline from Azure App Services. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update on Azure Data Factory and other cloud technologies. All right, let's dive in. I'll be utilizing this particular app services. If you look at this app services, this is the same app service that I used in my previous video as well. If you want details like how to create an app service, then I would recommend you to look at my previous video. So since this video is about utilizing the user-assigned managed identity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first create a managed identity. So let's search for managed identities and then let's click on create here. Let's select the required resource group. In my case, I'm going to use this resource group called JB APP, and my region would be West US2. Yeah, and then I will name this as JB APP user assigned managed identity. Yeah, so this is the name that I'm going to use. Click on next. I'm not going to have any tags here, so I'm just going to click on review plus create and then create it. Let's wait for this to complete and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so the deployment is completed. Let's go back to the managed identities and then see if we have it. So if you see here, we are able to see that this particular managed identity is created, and that's on the resource group JB APP. Yeah. So now that we have this managed identity, user assigned managed identity created, what we'll do is let's go to this web app here. Yeah. And then what we'll do is let's head to our identity tab. Yeah. So we have it. So if you see here, the system assigned managed identity status is set to off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this user assigned tab here and then click on add. And if you see here, these are the two user assigned managed identity available. I'm going to select the required one, which is JB App UAMI. So let's click on add. Let's wait for it to get added and then we'll move forward. Okay, so it's added now. Yeah. So now what you need to do is let's go back to this managed identity here. Yeah. And then click on this JB APP UAMI. And if you look at here, what we need is we need this client ID. Yeah. So let's copy this and then keep it in a safer location, because we will require this client ID to be placed in our .NET code. Yeah. So now what we'll do is let's head back to our Azure Data Factory and then let's go to this access control IAM. Yeah. And then what we'll do is let's click on add and then do add role assignment, and let's add this user assigned managed identity that we just created, and then let's add it here with a role of data factory contributor. Let's click on that, click on next, and then select this managed identity and click on select members. And then as far as the managed identity is concerned, click on this one, user assigned managed identity. And then select your JB APP AMI, UAMI, and then click on select. Now click on review plus assign and then add it. Let's wait for it to complete. It's added now. So now what we'll do is like, let's go to our .NET code. Yeah. So you need to provide the required details like subscription ID, the resource group name, data factory name, and pipeline name. So you need to provide all these things. Yeah. After this, what we'll do is like, let's paste our client ID that we copied earlier. Yeah. That's the most important thing to do. So let's go ahead and paste it. And then let's look at the rest of the code. Yeah. Okay, so if you see here, we have our client ID, yeah, and then what we are doing is like we are basically utilizing this particular user assigned client ID for the authentication, and then we are getting the information related to subscription ID, resource group name, data factory name, and pipeline. And then what we are doing is like we are basically triggering it here. Yeah. In case if it is successful, then you're going to get this message with the time it started. Yeah, and in case there is an error, you will get that error. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to start it and then see if it works fine. Give it a couple of seconds. Yeah, it started, and I'm able to see that we don't have any error. So I'm gonna use this, and once I publish this particular um, thing into our app service, I will be opening it and see if it is going to work. Yeah. So you need to click on this one, not on the solution, and then click on publish here. Yep. So I've already published it. So what I'll do is like maybe like I will delete it and then do it one more time. Right click and then publish. So we have this target as Azure. Click on next and then select Azure App Services Windows and then select your JB app service and then click on next. And I'm going to skip this step because I don't need this API management. Okay, so let's click on close and then click on publish. While this is getting published, what we'll do is like let's head to our data factory here and then let's look at our pipeline. Yeah. So the pipeline is same as previous videos. It's a simple pipeline with a copy data task. Yeah. So what I'm basically doing is like taking data from one table from a database called JBDB and then moving that data across to a database called JB Finance. And it is just going to be for one particular table, which is called table one. Yeah. And now if I look at the runs here, what I'm able to see is like I'm able to see there are a couple of executions here. Yeah, the one is around 19 February 2025 around 12:43 p.m. Yeah, so now what I'll do is like let's trigger that and then see if it completes, if it is able to trigger the required pipeline. Yeah. Okay, so let's open the Visual Studio. And if you can see here, the publish is completed. It published around 9:07 p.m. Yeah. And what I'm able to see is like I'm getting this error. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to invoke that. And then I will look at this particular thing. So I basically have to execute this JB ADF curious boy. Yeah. That's what I need to do. So let's head back to this. And then what I'll do is like I will add that JB ADF curious boy. Let's run that. And if you can see here, it is telling like ADF pipeline triggered successfully. That's on 19 February 2025, 3:39 p.m. This is in UTC time. If you convert this to IST, which will be like 9 p.m. Yeah. So now let's go to our ADF. So if you see here, we have just two runs, the last run being 12:43 p.m. today. It is 19 February 2025. Let's refresh that. And then if you see here, we have this executed here, which is around 19 February 2025, 9 p.m. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.